You've worked hard to earn and save. Now it's time to make your money work hard for you. This is Empower Your Retirement with Frank and Frankie Guida of A Better Way Financial.
Question for you guys first. When was the last time either one of you celebrated a half birthday?
I don't think I ever did.
It's a really big deal for kids. If you ever ask a kid how old they are, they'll proudly say, I'm 9.5. It's a very big deal. But another big deal, half birthday, comes in regards to the work that you guys do. Age 59 and a half is what some call a magical age in regards to our savings and our retirement planning. So can you explain why? What do we need to know about age 59 and a half?
59 and a half is so important, really, for a couple of reasons. One is, once you're 59 and a half, you can access your retirement accounts, like your IRAs, your 401ks, that type of thing. You could take withdrawals and not get penalized on them. So for those folks that want to retire earlier, they have that option to have access to that money. But also a really important factor is at 59 and a half, what you can do is you can do what's called an in-service distribution from your 401k plan in most instances. Okay. Most companies will allow you to do it. And the reason for that is, when you look at 401k plans, a lot of them have really good growth investments in there where you can grow. But where they usually lack is safety. And protection of funds while also having investments that can, earn a reasonable rate of return. Okay. So when you're looking at your 401k and you're starting to get toward those retirement years, you probably want to get a little bit more conservative. I mean, let's say you've saved $2 million for your retirement. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you go through a 2008 and now you're down to $1 million. Mm-hmm. You think that makes a difference? Or if you saved $1 million and now you're down to $500,000. Do you feel comfortable saying, okay, now I want to retire?
Nope.
You used all that time, all that effort to get to that point. And now, bang, the market goes down and boom, you're at halfway. And this is the reason why you have this opportunity to do an in-service distribution so you can set your portfolio up in a manner that's more suited for your age and for the time and when you want to retire.
Okay.
Well, and it really is great timing with that 59 and a half. With most people retiring between the ages of 60 and 70, it's a great place to be able to, okay, now we're getting closer to that retirement. Let's find out some ways that we can try to lower some of our risk. And so with that, with the 401k allowing for what's called an in-service distribution. Some of them allow it, some of them don't. Most of them do. When it allows for that, you in essence can open up your own IRA independently or work with a financial advisor to open up an IRA, and you can move that 401k or the assets that are in there out and into your IRA. With the IRA, you get to have control of the investments that are in there. A lot of 401ks don't offer annuity options, so it's something that you're going to be able to now have access to more safe strategies than the investments that are allowed within the 401k. So it gives you more options by having that rolled over, either with an advisor or by doing it on your own. Okay. And so you still keep the 401k open if you're continuing to work there. So you can still have the contributions, you can still have the matches go into that 401k. You're just in essence taking the money that's been saved there to try to get more options allowed than the 401k that you have there. And so we look into what type of safe money options you have and how to reduce that risk in your retirement years. And so some of the strategies we use are something called money markets. You're probably familiar with those. It's like what they have at the banks where you get a fixed rate. It's roughly about 3 to 4% where you get a fixed rate of return. There's also something called MYGAs, and that's basically like a CD type of strategy, but it's for a longer period of time. So you might have it for a 3-year or a 5-year or a 10-year MYGA that's averaging somewhere between 5 and 5.5% as a fixed rate of return. Okay. There's also something called income fixed indexed annuities. So let's say you don't have a pension with your 401k provider with your work, and you want to be able to provide a guaranteed income stream in your retirement years. This is a good option to be able to get an income stream out of that money, just like you would if you had a pension plan set up through work. However, different than the pension is if you pass away early on, there's still money that's in that income annuity that can get paid out to a beneficiary as well.
And that's so important because today's day and age, only about 29% of the people have one of those old-fashioned pension plans that pay you each month and deposit money right into your checking account each month. And that is a beautiful thing. Most people love to have that, but a lot of people don't. So being able to set that up yourself so that money is coming in each and every month along with Social Security just makes life a lot easier.
Well, and then there's also the growth fixed index annuities as well that are able to get nice growth when the markets are going up without sacrificing the losses when the markets are going down. So they get a participation or a growth in the market when the markets are on their way up without having any losses when the markets are going down. So it's a way to be able to strategize to lower some of the risk in that portfolio. Now, it's not going to be as much of a return if you have it completely invested in the stock market, but as you get closer to your retirement years, you really don't want to have all of the portfolio in a risk type of investment.
And you know what, Frankie? Over the years, it's averaged a better rate of return than the banks have. So, you know, it's a safe alternative option for people to get a better return on their investments.
Yeah, and at this point in time, the markets are near an all-time high. It might be time to consider taking some of the chips off the table and pocketing it and putting it in a position where you have some safety. And so looking into that, if you're getting close to 59.5 or you are past 59.5 and you have these options available, consider giving us a call so that we can talk about what strategies you can use to try to de-risk the portfolio, to try to get you the returns that you're looking for within your risk tolerance. And so what we're going to be able to offer for the next 5 callers today is a complimentary risk and return analysis where we're going to go over what your portfolio is currently looking like. What are the risks associated with it? What are the expected returns associated with it? And then show you some alternative options to be able to try to get a better rate of return or try to lower some of the risk in the portfolio. So if you're 55 and older and you've saved $500,000 more for your retirement, give us a call right now for your complimentary risk and return analysis. That number is 610-440-3722. That's 610-440-3722.
Yeah, you know, we had this couple come in from Easton. Nice people. He was 70 years old. She was 61. They saved about $1.4 million. And, you know, they had this problem. They felt like they didn't have enough income, not enough fixed income. They were scared. Even though they had some funds, they were like, we're going to run out of these funds, you know, and they needed help in figuring out this jigsaw puzzle over retirement. So that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, and they were in a position where they were okay with income while she was working. And she was 61. She was planning to work till she was 67. And so they were fine on income then, but then she was making over 6 figures. And so when she retired, they were going to need to replace that income. And they were struggling trying to figure out, how do we replace this income? And so we showed them, here's what we can do. We can utilize the income fixed index annuity that we talked about earlier, in essence, as a type of pension type replacement of that income that she had coming in while she was working. And we showed her that by putting in roughly about $926,000 today, in 6 years when you retire, you're going to be able to get around $104,000 of guaranteed income each year for the rest of your life.
Wow.
They were very, very excited about that. That really helped and solved the problem for them.
And they were really stressed about, how am I going to be able to replace this income? And so they thought, well, I guess I have to take as much risk as possible to try to do that. So they had all their funds invested in equities. And so if there was a stock market crash, they would have been devastated with their portfolio. It would have gone from roughly about $1.4 million to $700,000, which they simply could not afford as they were getting closer to her retirement. And we said, let's utilize this and let's lower that max drawdown to right around 15%. So significantly reducing that risk instead of where it was at up to 50% that it could go down. So lowering the risk in the portfolio and trying to get as much income out of it so that they can enjoy their retirement together. And so if you haven't had one of these risk and return analyses done for you, let us run one to show you what options you have, how you can try to de-risk the portfolio going into retirement, lock in some of those gains that you've had over these great years of investing and making sure that you're getting a strong, reasonable rate of return in your retirement years. So if you want to have that risk and return drawn up for you, give us a call right now, 610-440-3722. If you're 55 and older and you've saved $500,000 or more for retirement, we are offering this right now to you. 610-440-3722 for your customized risk and return analysis.
Thanks for listening to Empower Your Retirement with Frank and Frankie Guida. To learn more, visit abetterwayfinancial.com.
By contacting us, we'll review aspects of your retirement portfolio to include suggestions about how best to utilize estate, tax, and retirement planning strategies and other financial services, or if changing management styles is appropriate for your specific needs and objectives. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendations to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. A Better Way Financial is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any client experiences discussed during this show are unique to that client, and they are not meant to imply or suggest you will experience the same results. Advisory services offered through A Better Way Financial. Insurance offered through licensed professionals at A Better Way Financial. Pennsylvania Insurance License number 301779.